Hi, and welcome to today's 4-Minute Mark. Mark chapter 4, verses 30 to 34. Again, he said, "What shall we say the kingdom of God is like? Or what parable shall we use to describe it? It is like a mustard seed, which is the smallest seed you plant in the ground. Yet when planted, it grows and becomes the largest of all garden plants, with such big branches that the birds of the air can perch in its shade." With many similar parables, Jesus spoke the word to them, as much as they could understand. He did not say anything to them without using a parable, but when he was alone with his own disciples, he explained everything. Jesus says the kingdom of God is like a very small seed. It doesn't look like much. And when you put it in the ground, you might not have much expectation for it. Do you remember Arbor Day? I guess some places still talk about Arbor Day. Maybe they do in schools. When I was in grade school, Arbor Day was a big deal, and we always got a little pine tree to take home, and we were supposed to plant it. And you know what? Most of the time, those little pine trees died. My sister had a little tiny pine tree. Okay, think a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. She planted it in the ground. We didn't expect for much to happen. And by the time my parents left that house, that tree was as big as the house, and it was huge and it was full, and yes, birds came and built nests in it. It started out small, it didn't look like much, but it grew into something. God is the one who really tended it. Yeah, we watered it once in a while, but mostly it was God that was doing this. Jesus is saying the kingdom of God doesn't look like much when it starts out. And when you think about it, we have Jesus, we have his 12 followers, basically, and there were more that followed as well. But the idea is it's a small group, and they're going to take over the world. They're going to spread the word of God through the entire world. Well, that doesn't look like much. When Jesus went to the cross, it didn't look like much. Here's a man dying, the man who was supposed to be our leader. But Jesus says the kingdom of God grows. Now, when you first become a Christian, maybe you don't look like much either. Maybe you're still caught up in some of those same old sins. Maybe you have your struggles. Maybe at times you look to see if there's any growth in your life and you can't see much or can't see any at all. But that doesn't mean that you don't have true faith, and it doesn't mean that God isn't going to bring something eventually good out of your life and out of the faith in your life. The kingdom of God is like a little mustard seed. When missionaries go over to foreign lands and they labor there for 10 years and they can say, we only have 3 converts, is that a failure? Or is that the kingdom of God as a mustard seed in that country that will continue to grow and bear fruit? This is the thing. The kingdom of God starts out small. Even when you are witnessing to people, maybe the little act of kindness you did for them, that didn't seem like much. Is God really going to use that in their lives? Maybe you tried to share the gospel and you stuttered and stammered and kind of didn't know what you were saying. Can God use your little witness in their lives? Yes. The kingdom of God starts out as a mustard seed, a very tiny seed, but it grows into something great. In many lands, particularly the Muslim lands right now, you could say it's mustard seeds. But we believe God can grow it into something great. The last couple verses there we did talk about before why Jesus used parables, and Jesus would explain to the disciples what he meant. Okay, so that's it for today's 4-Minute Mark. Have a good one, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.